Good morning, everybody. David Schonecker, licensed PE with the Monty Group. I want to do a little State of the Union address. It is March 13th. I am a little groggy, excuse me, I'm a little tired, little allergies going on with Florida pollen, so I apologize for the voice and tired eyes. But excuse me, as most of you know, I'm building my own house right now with the help of JTC Consulting Services out of Tampa, and my son, Tortuga Services, who's the director, and a bunch of people. My dad's helping me out, etc. But I am tired. I'm coming in the morning early, working hard. I'm going to the job site in the afternoon. I'm cleaning up and doing things and not getting a lot of sleep. And yeah, so it is what it is. But quick State of the Union. I want to talk about best practices. So I was on a live yesterday with Josh at Texas Best Barndominiums out of Texas. If you haven't met them or understand who Texas Best Construction is, you should. Even from Florida, you should follow them. Very intelligent builders. I've been doing it for a long time. Have an extensive history and a lot of knowledge. They share a lot of film, a lot of knowledge, a lot of inspiration. Excuse me, I highly recommend you follow them. That being said, best practices. So he spoke to this a lot, and I think I wanted to reiterate that point. We tend to use the internet for information, right? And I understand that. I'm guilty myself. I use the internet, of course, for information. Many people are coming to the forums, to the Barndominium, Florida Barndominium Forum and other Barndominium groups and the internet to ask questions, and you receive a lot of information, right? That is definitely not the way to get the best answers all the time. However, when you're an engineer like myself who tend to be looking for a specific answer and you ask the right questions, typically we find the right answers, right? But best practices, okay? So when you're building a custom home, which is what a barndominium is, it is a custom home. Okay, it is not a DIY project. It is a custom home. Then best practices come into play, right? The only way we can guarantee that we, do a great job by the client, the project is sustainable, the building is sustainable for a long time, is by building using best practices. Those two words get used a lot in the industry now to articulate or try to define not necessarily what the code states, not necessarily what the Florida statutes state, but what practices are being used in specific building construction methods to guarantee waterproofing, energy efficiency, and other topics, right? That being said, best practices is what clearly delineates some of the better home builders from the others, okay? So best practices, what does that mean for you as a homeowner? Well, you should be qualifying your general contractor by looking at their work. That is the most important thing. The quality of their job site, the quality of their work, the happiness of their clients, things like that are indicative of a contractor who uses best practices. Now, I'll be honest with you, it is difficult to be picky in this market in Florida where there are a lot of weak contractors out there. I have no problem saying that. I have no problem saying that maybe I'm not the best engineer for someone in any particular project. I'm good at what I know. I'm not good at things that I don't know. And when I do step out of line with things that I know, then sometimes, it becomes evident basically. Same thing happens with contractors. If contractors are a barn builder and they try to become a custom barndominium home builder and it doesn't get executed well, that's because they don't understand best practices. They haven't done it before. And does that mean we shouldn't all try to get into the industry? No, we should. But we need to be educated. We need to learn from people that have built custom homes, and we need to have best practices, right? For you, the homeowner, I want you to understand it starts with subgrade prep, right? Here in Florida, we deal with, much like Texas, we deal with, subgrade that's not perfect, right? It could be sand, it could be a little bit of clay sometimes, it could be muck, it could be organics if it's near a wetland. Every project should start with a geotech report if possible, and technically required by the code, by the way. And the contractor should be excavating X amount of dirt per the geotech report, stabilizing that dirt with a roller and adding new dirt in lifts and testing it, right? That's a good first start for best practices, right? Then the concrete slab. Concrete slab should be reinforced with a wire mesh. It should be not done with unreinforced slabs or fiber. And one of the poorest things done in Florida is an unreinforced slab, because we have a multitude of problems later, whether it's unplanned shrinkage, cracking, whether it's structural reinforcement, failed floors, things like that. All those things are important, and why reinforcement is important in the slab on grade. I know a lot of contractors tend to say, I built 1 million homes over 40 years and use fibers and unreinforced slabs. And I promise you, as a structural engineer, that is not best practices, okay? Especially for a custom family home, not a tract home. It is prudent to use structural reinforcement in the way of welded wire mesh, and to pay attention to a lot of details around a slab to ensure that there's no vertical displacement of any unplanned cracks in the future, right? And you can follow some of my other videos for more detail, but that's general consensus. Building steel installation. So I can't state this enough. We need best practices as it relates to installing and erecting the structural steel or other methods, whatever you're using for your barndominium. Then waterproofing, right? This is where it gets tricky, okay? The hybrid buildings we build in Florida are new, right? Any contractor that says they've been building barndominiums for 40 years is a blatant liar, of course. Any contractor, engineer like myself, or anyone who professes to be the know-it-all of barndominiums, especially the hybrid style we build in Florida, that says that they are the professor and the best, are liars, because we just started doing this in volume, right? I personally been designing, steel homes for 20 years, but like one here, one there, nothing in volume until 5 years ago, when I started putting my effort into making this more of a market. And now we have, over 100 families we've worked with, and we have, I think, 50 under construction or completed at this time. And I still don't profess to be the best at anything right now. I'm leading the charge, I hope, but I'm not. No one's the best. Texas is the best, but he's been doing it for 20 years, I guess. Avanti Group is not saying Avanti best. We're trying. We're doing a good job. We're doing code compliant. We're solving problems. We're involved. But anyways, that being said, waterproofing is a very involved situation with these hybrid metal building red iron barndominiums, or two buildings or pole barns, and they are all different. And a lot of people are failing to get plans that have competent details on them for this. And I highly encourage you to please understand that your plans that you pay for by Florida Building Code are required to have all, not some, all of the flashing details required for your construction. So between your metal building drawings and your architectural or structural drawings, you are required to have all details on those plans. And if you do not, you will potentially have a contractor take liberty on doing things not in accordance with best practices, because you have not provided them the correct information. So we do a good job at Avanti Group, of course, of putting the best information we can on the plans. Not every detail of every fabrication of every flashing, but we absolutely allude to the right things, and we're code compliant plans. We all very specifically state waterproofing things in certain window and door installations. The secondary water barrier systems, like the tape that goes over the buck and then the window goes on and the tape goes over the window, things like that, are all part of best practices, right? Is that clearly defined in a code somewhere? No, absolutely not. It's best practices is a combination of different people with different opinions doing things the right way with a proven track record, right? So I'll leave it there. I know I'm going way past 9 minutes here, so I'll leave it there. That's State of the Union, right? I highly encourage families, please take a pause. If you're excited about barndominiums, I am for you too. And we're definitely busy. We got so many families right now under construction and for permit and coming out right now. It's super exciting time right now. But let's all please remember that we should be hiring people who are proficient or capable of understanding what best practices are and executing them. If you're DIYing the inside, not a big deal. There's not that much, by the way, risk in DIYing the inside. But when you look at the outside, the exterior shell, the windows and doors, I highly recommend you hire a competent designer, a competent contractor or builder, and a competent installer, and that you watch and make sure that best practices are used along the way. If you guys have any questions about this stuff, reach out to the Avanti group via admin@avantitampa.com or message us on Facebook, go to our website, email us, all those things. We're available. Watch our videos, please, on YouTube. They do some good information there, a lot of great information there. And then my TikTok, FL Barndo, @FL Barndo. TikTok is where I kind of am walking in the field and showing you best practices the best I can. I know there's a lot of videos on there. It's just me running around, talking about things, but I'm sorry, that's the best I can do to articulate it right now. We don't have, $5,000, $10,000 a month to pay a team to YouTube video all this stuff and give you great detail. I'm just one engineer in the state of Florida trying to make this happen for you guys. Again, thank you for following our content. Thank you for supporting Avanti Group. Thank you for your patience as we struggle to keep up with the workload right now. I promise you we'll do the best we can to keep up with it and help make these projects real and keep this market sustainable as we go forward. God bless.